document when we use /begin document. And if we don't have the end document when we try and compile the code or build the file, we're going to get errors. So in between these two commands, begin document and end document, is where we're actually going to type what we want to see on our page. So this is called the body of the document. What we typed in the beginning initially, document class, that part of our code is called the preamble. So let's just try typing something. This is my first LaTeX document. It's a good idea to compile your code frequently and view the output just to make sure that it looks the way you think it's going to look, but more importantly, so that you can catch any syntax errors that you may make along the way. If you wait until you're completely finished typing all of your code, and then when you compile it you end up with 25 errors, it's much more difficult to go back and figure out where those errors occurred. So let's go ahead and compile our code or build our document. And we can click this arrow as a shortcut, and that will compile our code for us, and it should show us what a PDF would look like then over here in this area on the right. So over here on the right we can see what our document is going to look like. Now it's very hard to see right now because it's so tiny, but we can zoom in to get a better look. Another thing I can do to give myself a larger viewing space over here is to close some of these other areas. If I hit the structure tab, that'll hide that area on the left, and if I click the message log tab, that'll hide this area on the bottom. Okay. So all we have so far is a line of text, and when we just type our code, this is text mode. If we want to type mathematical notation, then we want to come out of text mode and go into math mode. So let's look at another example. This time I'm going to say, suppose we are given a rectangle with side lengths, and I'm going to use side lengths of x plus 1 and x plus 3. So the x plus 1, I want it to display as math, and in order to switch from text mode into math mode, we begin the math mode with a $sign, and then we have to remember to end our math mode with a $sign as well. So I want the quantity x plus 1, and then I'm going to type a $sign, parentheses, $sign, to come back out of math mode and go back into text mode. So suppose we're given a rectangle with side lengths x plus 1 and x plus 3. So now I'm going to go back into math mode, and I find it easier to go ahead and type both the opening and the closing $sign so I don't forget, and then just move my cursor back and type the math in between that. So I want x plus 3. Okay, so let's build this and see what it looks like. Okay, that's pretty much what I expected, except for the fact that in my source code, my first sentence and my second sentence are on two separate lines. And in the output, they're all running together in one paragraph. So in your code, when you hit return, that doesn't automatically cause a line break like you might expect it to. So there are two ways to get a line break if you want one. You can put in an extra return in your source code, so that means a blank line in between the last bit of code and the next bit of code. And now you'll see if I build this again that it did put them on new lines. The other thing we could have done, so let me delete this extra line, is I could have typed 2 backslashes, and 2 backslashes is the code for a soft return. So now if I build this, you'll see it definitely started the second sentence on a new line, but they're not lined up. So what's happening there? Well, the first line is starting a new paragraph, and it's automatically indented in LaTeX. So in a later tutorial, when we talk more about formatting, we'll see how to remove indents if you don't want your paragraphs to automatically be indented. So we can decide if we want to do the soft return or the hard return. For now, I'm just going to do the hard return, so it's going to start a new paragraph for that second sentence, and it's going to indent it, so when I build the file it actually looks like it's lined up. Now I'm going to add another sentence here. Then the equation a equals x squared plus 4x plus 3 represents the area of the rectangle. Now that sentence was all in text mode, so if I build it, I get an error and it's telling me that I'm missing a $sign, so I have entered math without putting it in math mode. So let me go ahead and fix that by putting $signs around the math portion. And you can see that once I inserted that $sign, everything that comes after is green, showing me that it's math mode. But when I put the closing $sign, only what's in between the $signs is green. So again, that makes it visually very easy to see what's in math mode and what's in text mode. Text mode is black, the math mode is green. The command names are blue. The arguments on the commands are black. Okay, so let's try building that again. Hopefully we don't get an error this time. Okay, that looks good. When I use $signs around my math notation, yes, I'm in math mode, but more specifically I'm in inline math mode, and that means the math is going to display on the same line as the text. If I want to set it apart and have the math portion displayed on its own line, then instead of being in inline math mode, I want to be in display math mode, and we accomplish that by using double $signs. So I'm going to type this